Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Matt, this is Alonzo, that's Christy. There are a lot of movies that might be of interest this weekend. Well, maybe not a lot.
I was going to say.
3. So we're going to talk about movies that are opening in theaters. There's a couple, there's one that's expanding to wide release. There's one in wide release that we've all seen, or I'm sorry, in limited release that we've all seen. And then one that is in wide release that
none of us
have seen. So let's talk about that. The movies I'm talking about are Disaster Artist, I, Tonya, and Just Getting Started. Now I know you guys reviewed Disaster Artist a few days ago, and then there's a Wine the Flick that we did, which you can see on ChristyLeMaire.com. And your review is on whattheflick.com, or I'm sorry, youtube.com/whattheflick.
What the Flick Show.
Yeah, What the Flick Show. But let's talk about Disaster Artist and I, Tonya, and Just Getting Started. What do you think people should go see this weekend?
I love I, Tonya. It's like one of the best movies of the year. It's like number 3 for me. Is Call Me By Your Name, Phantom Thread, I, Tonya. Those are my top 3. Yeah, it's up there. There's a small quibble I have about it's very on-the-nose music choices. But other than that, I'm in love with I, Tonya. It is breathtakingly alive, and it makes you look at a person and a story you thought you knew everything about from a fresh perspective. And Margot Robbie tears it up, Allison Janney tears it up. I love I, Tonya.
Yeah, it's a very smart movie, and yeah, what Christy said, like somebody that you weren't prepared to take seriously or to empathize with, and really allows that a level of humanity to shine through that we hadn't gotten before.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. I was caught off guard. I was not prepared for a movie to redefine how I thought about somebody that had basically been a punchline, and there's some damning moments in that movie as well. Now, I've recently watched The Room for the first time.
Congrats.
And have not yet watched The Disaster Artist, but that's expanding out to about 800 theaters this weekend. And you guys have both seen it.
Yes.
Now the big question is, if people are going to go see that, should they see The Room first?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you know, our colleague Ben Mankiewicz did not, and he still did not.
Hi, Mark.
Exactly, but he still enjoyed The Disaster Artist. But yeah, given the choice, see The Room, but see it. Don't watch it alone. Never watch it alone. Watch it with friends and people you can point to each other and be like, am I seeing this? Is this a thing that's happening? It'll be interesting to see. It had a very healthy opening weekend in New York and Los Angeles. Both cities, I think, are sort of epicenters of the Room phenomenon. As the film goes out wider, I mean, I think, you know, the Room has kind of gotten out there. There have been bootlegs on YouTube. It's been available on DVD. Other cities have gotten it. But you know, it is definitely going to be going out to probably audiences who don't know The Room as well, and so it'll be curious to see how it plays with them on a wide screen, on a wide scale basis.
Yeah, I did wonder as I was watching it, is this going to be potentially alienating to people who aren't familiar with it? And it's kind of inside baseball in a lot of ways. It's a movie about making a movie, and those can be accessible, but this movie is so weird and so specific that I do wonder, does it seem too insular and too clubby and too weird?
It's a very LA movie, but in a good way. And yeah, whether or not that translates, though, is another story.
Yeah, and it's very kind to Tommy, ultimately. So maybe people will respond to the affectionate treatment of him.
Yeah, it's not a movie that punches down, I don't think.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Just Getting Started.
I don't even know shit about this. Is this like Las Vegas?
Kind of. It's Ron Shelton, who I like. You know, he does sports movies I consistently like. I love Bull Durham. I love Tin Cup. And this one has Morgan Freeman as the sort of like bon vivant kind of, you know, BMOC of a retirement community until Tommy Lee Jones shows up and sort of challenges his stature. I know this from the trailer.
I've seen an ad on TV like once, and I'm like, oh, this is a real movie that's coming out.
Yeah, and they changed the title. Actually, it was Villa Capri for a long time. I guess that's the name of the retirement village. Okay. But yeah, for whatever reason, they didn't screen it for critics, so we have no idea what this movie is.
Are they even doing Thursday night showings of it?
Nope.
Oh, okay, that's when you know it's really, really bad. When they won't even do like a midnight Thursday showing or something.
Right, for those of you watching at home, the general consensus is that if a movie doesn't screen for critics, that means the studio is not confident in it. Now, the only time that ever really changes these days is Star Wars, because Disney knows they don't have to screen it and they want to keep it secret. But everything else, if it's
but they do screen it.
We're seeing it on Monday.
Yes, they screen it. not before the premiere. Sometimes you get screenings, but you're right.
Sure.
They are screening.
They're not hiding Star Wars.
They're not hiding it. But if I say all the time, nobody hides a good movie.
Except for Snakes on a Plane. They didn't screen that before it opened. I had to go see it at midnight with drunk people.
And that movie with Kerry Russell about the haunted house, that I can't remember the title of it. That was actually a good one too. But no, there's a tier. There's like, there's films that they screen a lot and early, which they clearly want to get the word out about. Then there's your Wednesday night screening, which is kind of like
because they know the critics are on deadline.
We'll show it to you, but like we're gonna wait till the last minute.
Right.
Then there's the movie they don't show you at all, but there are public screenings on Thursday nights. You could go to that first show on Thursday, or send somebody in New York to that first show on Thursday, and get a review out Thursday night. So it's you're still kind of making it.
And we like to go on Thursday nights and do that.
Oh yeah, because it's usually the only people there are other film critics. And then there's the movies that they don't show in advance, and they don't book any Thursday night screenings, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then there's Tyler Perry movies, which they don't screen.
Now, what was the movie that
Yeah.
you had seen on a Friday morning with Ben and other people in the theater were having sex in the theater?
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
We were on the balcony.
They screened that movie, though.
Yeah. Did they?
They did. Oh yeah, I went to the press screening.
I don't know why.
Oh my
See,
God.
all
I
I
went
know-
to the bathroom twice.
All I know is that these people should have gone to the bathroom to do what they were doing, but they were doing it like down the aisle from us, like in the front row of that balcony section. They were doing like way down the aisle, and we're sort of looking over.
So
like,
in a
"Are they
nearly
doing
empty
it?"
theater, they were on your row?
Yeah, like there's
that's-
plenty of room. Maybe they wanted to be seen.
As they part of the thrill,
right?
clearly.
The fun of getting caught. Yeah.
I guess. Now, the other screening that we see sometimes is the screening where it'll be either these, sometimes movies will get these Saturday night sneak screenings. So that
The public sneak, yeah.
Right, so they can say, oh, audiences are in love with this movie. But then there's also either the raunchy comedy or the horror movie that you get stuck at the radio promotional screen.
Oh, right.
With
or you're
real people.
You're surrounded by the recruited audience.
Right.
Because we're all dead inside and can't possibly evaluate these movies without, actual Americans
I'll say that
surrounding
sometimes
us.
works on me.
The power of suggestion, the sheer
Sometimes.
osmosis. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes that works just a little bit.
The T-shirt cannon and the trivia questions.
No, really, it's the being in the movie. A scary movie in the theater is far scarier in a theater than it is at home.
Or
True.
more,
Right,
more
because-
enjoyable, maybe. More
Yeah,
enjoyable.
that's true. I remember going to the press screening of Don't Breathe.
I remember Don't Breathe.
The one with about the
break in the blind guy's
break in the blind
house.
guy's house,
Yes.
exactly. And that was it was a full house, and it was like there was a chunk of critics, and then there was like the people they had recruited, and everybody was just sort of like. And it was one of the screens where like you could not, there was not a peep to be heard.
Yep.
Everybody was so
they weren't breathing.
They weren't breathing.
They took it as a
exactly.
command.
It did their thing. But I'll tell you, I think there are pros out there. Because I think I've probably told this story here before. The woman who sat behind me at Gigli, if she was getting paid, it wasn't enough. Because she laughed at every fucking thing in that movie, including Ben Affleck saying shit happens. Just whoa. And like, wow, okay, you're good at your job if this is your job, and if it's not your job, I'm concerned.
Yeah, maybe that's the same. Maybe she knows the people that Gray Drake and I sat behind in Woman in Black. That jumped and screamed and talked at the screen the whole time and actually kind of made that movie awesome.
That can be fun too.
Yeah.
That can be fun.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Although it doesn't always work. I do remember both the critics and the recruited audience turning on. What's the Hugh Jackman is a hacker? John Travolta.
Swordfish.
Yeah. Naked
Yeah.
Halle Berry, topless Halle
Naked
Berry.
topless
yes.
Halle Berry for no apparent reason. Yeah, that we all sort of early on kind of got the giggles and didn't stop. So
Yeah, that's a rough movie. Okay, so of the movies that are in theaters, let's do two tiers because if you're in LA, New York, you have I, Tonya, and you don't otherwise have that choice anywhere else.
Sure.
So the choices in LA, New York are I, Tonya, Disaster Artist, and Just Getting Started. What's the recommendation?
Tanya.
Oh, Tanya.
Yeah.
For those three, yeah, no question.
Okay, and then if you are in the rest of the country and it's just Disaster Artist or Just Getting Started.
Well, we have to give one of them a
Right.
buy, so it has to. That leaves
guess.
Disaster Artist.
Can
But
I-
hey,
yeah.
Lady Bird is still screening. Go
I was
see
gonna say,
that.
can I do a write-in vote for Shape of Water?
Sure. Is that in wide release already?
Is it not?
No, that opened only in New York last weekend. LA's not getting it
It's LA
until this
tomorrow, that's
weekend.
right.
Like that one, they're really
Oh,
slowly.
I didn't realize that's in LA this weekend.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has not
tomorrow.
played
Oh, well,
here
then maybe
yet
we need to
publicly.
revote. I, Tonya, or Shape of Water.
Ooh.
I'll go Shape of Water actually, but not that I don't like
Shape of
Tonya.
Frozen Water.
I
and
love,
Tonya.
I love them both, yeah. But Shape of Water, you should definitely see on the biggest screen you can find.
No
Yeah,
question.
I have that
Yeah.
screener, and I kind of am waiting to see that on the big
Yeah,
screen.
you really should see a projector.
I'm shocked they even sent out screeners of that. You should not see that on a screener.
Well, it's funny. Somebody on Twitter made the joke that the Dunkirk screener is actually a note inside telling you to go see it in the theater. And for a second, I kind of thought that was true. And then I opened mine. I was like, oh no, they sent it out.
Again, but like, why would you want to watch Dunkirk at home?
Oh hell no.
No,
yeah.
you shouldn't.
Or just kneel in front of your big screen TV and just really close.
Put like a towel over your head. And,
Do the Tom Hardy voice.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's the thing about getting screeners is that I do feel guilty. I remember last year, Mr. Turner, I watched at home and dozed off, and then Leonard Maltin lectured me.
And you don't want that.
No,
we don't want that.
It stings.
What else is in theaters that people should check out at this point that we haven't covered? Because I know, so for the audience watching at home, Lady Bird.
Sure, Lady Bird for sure. Call Me by Your Name is in a few cities,
That's
which
what I was
is
going to pick.
great.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much nationwide at this point. I think it's like
Oh, did it make the big-
everywhere. I
okay.
mean, not like in 3,000 screens certainly, but you know, if you have an art house theater in your town, they're probably showing it. So
okay,
that's
great.
my pick for you.
Totally.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty solid.
I'm going to the Star Wars premiere on Saturday.
How did that happen?
Let's talk about
I
that.
got invited.
about that.
Let's talk about that. I've gone to the last two, and I'm off the list now.
Well, you're not at Rotten Tomatoes anymore.
I know.
You're with this Fleabag
Well, who are
organization.
you with? With the Wrap?
The Wrap,
The Wrap
I guess.
counts. The Wrap
So
counts.
here's the question: who are you taking?
My friend Tom, who is like obsessed with this stuff. Hey, look, Tom.
Because your friend Matt is not obsessed with Star Wars at all.
Look,
does not
I have known,
a room full of Star Wars toys.
I have known Tom for like 25 years. And
Yeah, who cares? Come on.
He's a visual effects guy.
He's a visual effects guy. He also, I turned to him for footnotes during these movies because half the time I'm like, is that a thing? Am I supposed to know what that is?
Oh, right.
So,
I could do that.
He knows all the Easter eggs.
Look,
That's true.
I also didn't know
feelings are
until
hurt.
I didn't know until after I invited him that you had been dumped from the list.
Well, so when are you going to go see it then?
Monday.
What time on Monday?
I don't know. They haven't told me yet.
I'm going to the 4.
They told you already?
Yes.
Oh, I probably got left off that list too.
And I'd bring you to that, but I could bring my kid to
you
that.
leave Rotten Tomatoes and you get nothing.
Yeah.
You get to hang out with us.
The young
still.
who?
Yeah, exactly. What? The young tomatoes? I know. Lo, how the mighty have fallen.
You know what's funny though is like the level of product tie-in with this latest Star Wars movie. Like name a car.
Did you
Name a car.
get the Christian Louboutin
Oh, the
shoes?
Louboutin. Oh my God, I forgot to bring those up. Yeah.
Christian Louboutin shoes are doing a Star Wars tie-in.
There's a Louboutin.
And
I mean, I got the Adidas tied in from a few years back,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. There were these cool Adidas tie-in shoes, but
I can't tell if they're in the movie and they're like auctioning for charity, or they're actually going to make them
I think
public.
they're gonna make 'em.
commercial.
So-
they have little jeweled TIE fighters
I was gonna say,
hanging
is
off of them or
the
something.
bottom of it's red? Is it meant to be like a lightsaber that comes out of your foot or something?
Right.
You just like kick it out.
I can't.
maybe I can expense those. Maybe I'll buy them and I'll expense them.
And it would look great on you, I'm sure.
Hey, listen, don't think I could not rock Louboutins.
Yeah, they're worth the
You have a
$900
very
investment.
womanly foot.